present here today. Bless them as they come to and from our meetings. Thank you for our friends who will be here today, and help us do the right thing, make the right decisions for our constituents. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Holder, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Loudon.
Present.
Commissioner Mulder.
Present.
Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Am I supposed to do that in any kind of order?
Pardon?
Am I supposed to do that in any kind of order?
You know, you're in for that. Approval of the agenda. Is there any additions, deletions?
We need to remove item number K. There was a miscommunication between Paige and I on that, and it is not ready for board.
K? Is that what you said?
The special events permit for Arno K. It hasn't been posted.
That'd be J.
No agenda?
Consideration of special events permit, is that it?
Special events permit for Arno K.
I got J.
Okay. You guys,
Gotcha.
I thought you did the
Okay, so that was
agenda
off.
after you guys picked up yours.
K's good.
Anything else?
I make a motion to approve the changes.
Second?
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Mulder.
Yes.
Commissioner Loudon.
Yes. Consideration of minutes, regular meeting minutes, July the 3rd, 2018. So any additions, corrections?
I was only present for the last part of the meeting because I was at the fire. So I think I'll abstain on this one.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Loudon.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
You need to ask him
That's,
to.
that's
Oh, Commissioner Mulder.
Reading correspondence, Commissioner Committee report. Mr. Lopez, anything?
Yes, remember the OP yesterday? In the honor, we have recovered the $273,000 that was lent out for this past 6 months. It's been reimbursed to OP, and we're ready to start lending that revenue out again. So there's some money there for those small businesses that need some alternate funding available in the amount of $250,000 up to $50,000 per applicant. So if we have any local small businesses that would have any desires to apply, please contact me or any of the local banks. They can get you in contact with Mount Berg in Ventura County. We also been on fires, and thank God they're almost done. The feds, I believe, pulled out yesterday. I believe the fire was signed back over to Washington County. Kim Gonzalez has been living up there as well, and Davida, and thank God that they're about done. I think the last estimate is about $9 to $10 million in expenditures for the fire. Our local sheriff's department has been assisting, and this is a very big thank you to them from Washington County, and also Mr. Mulder has been in and out of there assisting in moving the cattle and livestock for the residents. And it's been a learning experience to be on a disaster of this size and this nature, and I think it's been a great experience, even though it was just so tragic. But for Mr. Mulder and I to learn, Mr. Loudon's been in plenty of fires. This was our first big one, and I think it's going to help us moving forward as Commissioner Loudon steps down his last year here, and Mr. Mulder and I hopefully continue on. A great learning experience. So thank all the firefighters that have put their lives on the line to protect people's homes. I did travel to Blanca last Sunday, and I was in the Kashar yesterday, Sunday, traveling through. The previous Sunday I was in the mountain to see the burn scar and meet with other officials, and it's pretty horrific. The devastation is pretty massive. So, again, thank all the firefighters and all the folks that have helped out on this fire.
Well, I appreciate all the work that both of you did. It was good, and it was a great exercise for us. And we didn't have to do anything, so I think it was a great learning experience. I'm sorry it happened in Norfolk County, but I'm also happy it didn't happen in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't jump the highway. That would have been devastating, but they knew that we were there for them. We helped them fix a few things, and Phil was ready to roll with water trucks and dozers. I did learn a lot at their expense, and I wish it wasn't at anybody's expense, but what I seen and appreciated the most was how community and elected officials and all facets came together to really work together and just put everything aside for the good and for the good of common people. But, I will be leaving my report. Mr. Dorenkamp and myself will be leaving after today's meeting for NOLA to Cortez. We will be going after some more NOLA money. So hopefully we will be successful tomorrow morning. And that's about all I've got.
Okay. Public comment. You guys are on the agenda, so we'll let the public comment go at this point. Finance Director Christy Cobley to discuss mid-year budget review.
The revised budget has Deputy Bonham first. The revised
Oh,
agenda.
okay. Okay, I'm sorry. See, I knew we were just going to wait.
We're ready. Don't go
Okay. Well, you get to go before she does.
Well, speak before me.
The thing of it is that now you're going to set the standard so high, she's going to really have to work.
Basically, I just wanted to bring you the report. Gave you the quarterly report for security. At that time, we had about 25,000 that had come through the courthouse at that time. This is the 6-month review that we also gave to the state level for the grant, but it was on a quarter. This is just a 6-month review. At the time this was printed, we had about 58,000 people that came through the courthouse.
When was that?
58,000. As of today, I looked at it today, we are at 62,000. So we're bringing in almost 10,000 people per month.
To start a cover charge.
Exactly. Of course, they're about the same. We're running about 2,600 hearings per day, or per the 6-month period, 2,600 hearings. And the sheriff's office is bringing over about 421 inmates in that 6-month period. One of the significant changes in here is, if you notice, under fire contraband firearm, we did have 8 firearms come into the courthouse.
How many of those were legal? I mean, they had a permit.
I would say most of them had permits. Well, all of them that came in had a military permit. But it's still not allowed.
Right, I understand that. I was just trying to.
Yeah, all of them had legal permits, and they were educated on the fact that they should have left it in the car. About 1,200 knives were brought in, and on contraband other, which is tasers, OC, cat eye, self-protection, there was about 130 of those. And then we had 6 disorderly conduct. And disorderly conduct, we have been trying to figure out what to put in that, what kind of person, I guess. If security has to leave the desk downstairs to go upstairs just to observe, that doesn't mean we are arresting them, that doesn't mean we're forcing them to leave the building. Just pure officer presence is enough to calm everything down. In that situation, that would go under disorderly person. And normally just us being around walking through is enough, and they leave like that. We did testing of duress alarms in most of the rooms. We've still got a few that need to go. And then we updated the DHS door codes and personnel list. Seems like DHS is continuously changing, or somebody's continuously changing. I also created a form for requests for any keys or key fobs or anything like that. The department head would actually request it for a person, and by the time it gets to me, I can track who has them and if they turn them back in, and then I'll get with Kim and show that they've turned in all their equipment. Good.
Now, have we had any luck in, I know we were trying to find a grant for the DHS.
I had found 4 grants. The problem when I went back and got to looking for them, most of them had already expired. The deadline had already passed. There are still some out there. It's just trying to find one that would actually fit us.
Okay, and I understand that you're going to be pulled out of the courthouse for some short time due to the shortage of some deputies. So can you pass that information to Ms. Massaro so she can continue to get the answer? So we can don't stop that progress. One more thing for you, Paul.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
I just think you've been doing a pretty good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I think you've been doing an excellent job, just not just too good.
Come on.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Have a good day.
My turn?
Yes. You need to state your name, address, phone number.
Social security number. Anyway, so we're gonna be having our mid-budget, budget review.
Can you all hear her out there?
We're having our mid-year budget review, so I just need to come to you and ask you about dates, because it usually starts at 9 a.m. and we'll go to like 3 or 4. Depends on how long everything goes. We'll review where they're at mid-year, discuss maybe budget for 19. So I was looking at maybe sometime in August, because our regular meeting is August 7th. So I was thinking maybe either Thursday the 2nd or Thursday the 9th. If that doesn't work, you let me
You
know.
want to do it August 7th?
No, that's a regular meeting.
Okay.
Second or ninth?
The 2nd or the 9th, if that's okay.
The 9th doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I'm good with either.
We can go in further too, but I'd like to get that done as soon as possible. Just get that out of my way, and then we can start looking at budget.
Okay, so August the 2nd, and then you will set up the people.
Oh yeah, I'll take care of all that,
Okay.
books, everything. I'll get all that together.
Okay.
I just want to just talk about dates right now so that we can get that settled.
Good.
2nd at 9.
2nd at 9. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And you will kind of give us a reminder.
We will. You'll be getting a little work of everybody's budget.
Okay.
So that's a big reminder.
All right. No old business, new business. Wildlife discussion about Boulder District Wildlife Manager. come up and state your name in there so everybody knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bob Holder. I'm the District Wildlife Manager for the Colorado Division of Wildlife in the Trinidad West District. So, main reason I came here today, guys, was to ask if, in hearing budgets and everything else, if you could get some larger chairs for those of us with a little bigger posterior and wearing a gun belt, it makes it difficult. So I did bring my bodyguard today, so we're in good shape. Folks, Mr. Moulter asked me to come and speak to you about any concerns that you may have with wildlife, how the fire may have impacted it, and certain other things like that. Specifically, what he was asking about, I believe, was game damage and what the drought's doing to it, and different things like that. And obviously, we'll answer questions as we go along. I'd like to introduce the best game warden I've ever seen in my life. This is my son, Zach Holder. So he's on vacation, guys. He's not even supposed to be here, so we're not supposed to work together. Anyway, as you folks are aware, that we are liable for game damage caused by big game, whether it be bear, mountain lion, deer, elk, antelope, and things like that. The drought is certainly going to impact that. We have, right now, I have 3 game damage claims going, and they may be sizable. The difficulty becomes in a drought year how to determine what their yield would have been anyway. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with. One of the things that you asked about specifically was hemp, is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm right now waiting for an assessment from, we have a game damage coordinator, and I'm waiting for an assessment from him. I brought, unfortunately Zach was kind of roped into this, but he is dealing with the situation right now in his district in the Canyon City area with commercial hemp. Zach, can you address that a little bit, please?
Yeah, Zach Holder, District Wildlife Manager with the Colorado Division of Wildlife in Canyon City. Something that is certainly new to Colorado and to our game damage program is industrial hemp. And industrial hemp doesn't have the THC, doesn't have the certain things in it that your regular marijuana that you would buy downtown has in it. What the industrial hemp is really being used for is the CBD oil. It's an oil that's used for to treat seizures, epilepsy, and things like that. That's a crop that we're starting to see really come around to the state, especially in places that have a little bit drier climate, warm days, cooler nights, like Canyon City, like Trinidad. And that product now is regulated by the Department of Agriculture. And as a result of that, that is something that the Division of Wildlife will be liable and help mitigate and those types of things as it pertains to game damage, deer, elk, in my case, antelope. So that's just another thing that you guys might think about as this industry starts to grow. And from what I understand and what I've been dealing with, that industry and those crops can be a very lucrative crop for people. So just something to keep in mind there. But I think that stuff sells by the milligram, that oil, and it can be very expensive. And then it goes up to, one of the quotes was between $30 and $80 a pound for the plants. And, so you could very easily get a $1 or $2 million crop in a 20, 30, 40 acre field. So just something to think about there.
Guys, when we evaluate a game damage claim, it's set up by statute. For instance, it's an agreed upon figure that elk will eat 8.8 pounds per day, deer will eat 2.2 pounds. So you can see how quickly that's going to add up. Zach mentioned, I think the most critical word that can be used here today is mitigation. People need to be on top of these things before they begin it. That money that is paid for game damage comes directly from the sale of hunting and fishing licenses. So each one of us here that hunts or fishes is paying into that fund, and it goes back into game damage. So it's in everybody's best interest for those in agriculture to address that, whether it be as minute as an electric fence around a chicken coop, or something much larger when they're developing their fields and that kind of stuff. Okay? Guys, do you have any questions, comments, criticisms, complaints?
On something like that, what kind of fence can you really put up? Just one of the game fences?
What we look at on a big game fence is a 8-foot high fence.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that it's cost prohibitive on the part of our agency.
Yeah.
If we were to do every one of those fields. So one of the things that, again, that we can ask maybe of that individual developing a field like that is to plan for those things ahead of time. Because the other alternative is short of fencing and that kind of stuff, kill permits are issued, those animals are taken out of the system.
Well, from my point of view, if I've got a cash crop that's worth that much, I'm gonna put up that fence before I ever plant the crop.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, you're gonna lose out, and if it's worth that much money, you guys are never gonna pay what it's worth. So I think it's incumbent upon the people to do that, to take care of themselves to a certain extent. But I mean, they have to.
I agree with you, sir. I think, as I said, our game damage statutes address those things, but sometimes it's too late at that point. When you've got a field like he's got, where he's got deer and antelope coming in every night, you can haze those, you can shoot them with rubber bullets or cracker shells when weather permits and things like that, and within an hour they're back in that field.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think just to reiterate, I think the most important thing, and I think it's something certainly that you guys can, put forward to these people, because I believe they'll have to apply for some type of permit or something like that through the county commissioners. At least guys in our area are registering the crop with the Department of Agriculture and those types of things, so that it's available. But that is something absolutely that I think would benefit the community, benefit the county, is if you guys will talk and really promote that. We need to do this beforehand, because a week of I'm lucky I don't have the elk like you guys do, but a week of 20 or 30 elk in a hemp field, and you've got $250,000 worth of damage to a good crop. So that initial step of, hey, let's get something set up before you even go down that route, and I would think that those big fields like that would be coming to this area quickly with the irrigation and those types of things that you guys have. So
most of that, guys, too, is now we won't pay damage on illegal growth. So that's where the sheriff's office comes in.
Well, when you brought that up, and this is probably a little off the wall, but let's say we get elk in an illegal grove. What does it do to the elk? Do they get the munchies, or?
I'll tell you what, Commissioner Loud, I can't address that. I have seen elk flying across Highway 12. Have you read it?
Commissioner Loudon, I couldn't answer that either. I wouldn't, if I told you anything, it'd be something just strictly speculation there. I don't believe, based on their body size, muscle mass, I don't believe that it affects them to the point it might us, just because they've got so much weight in that. But I would imagine if you eat enough of it, they're gonna go from the marijuana field to the alfalfa field to get their fix, I guess.
Or McDonald's. Yeah, but. Yeah, the only thing I can tell you, Commissioner Loudon, is that a bear that eats a box of wine under a trailer, it does make them a little loopy, I can tell you. Guys, do you have any questions or comments on anything? Guys, I might mention this real quickly, and this is kind of off the cuff. Right now, the statewide Habitat Partnership Program Council is in town. We're going to tour this afternoon the Spanish Peak State Wildlife Area and the Bosque del Oso State Wildlife Area to show what HPP is real quickly. Is the money that you spend as hunter comes back a certain percentage of that to these areas, to these game management units, and that money then is distributed out to landowners upon request for different types of habitat manipulation and everything to help them. This evening, from what I understand, there's going to be a barbecue at the state park. I have not been given. They don't tell me when barbecues are for some reason. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit and invite you guys, if you would like to be there, to speak to some of the state council and everything. And Mr. Moulter, I'll get that information to you to pass out to the rest of the group.
I appreciate that.
I'd just like to comment that, as always, Mr. Holder, you've been a professional and represent the state of Colorado in our area so well. So I want to thank you for that coming today.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Bob, I really, I don't know how to say this because I've known you a long time. I mean, I might tell your age a little bit, but I want to thank you for everything that you've done for our community, for our children. I mean, finding a man like your son is proof of what kind of man you are, and I think your family is wonderful. But you know what you've done in Los Animas County is unmatched. Never really quite met a man like you before.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
And you know, I've sat through 4 hunter education classes, each with my son. And this last one was a little bit, maybe it's my last one, but it was a little bit more special and kind of made me think a little bit. But you have been an asset to Los Animas County. And you have protected and conserved probably one of our most precious assets that we have, and that's our wildlife, of course, our habitat. And without that, that brings lots of dollars into our community and lots of food. I know it's provided much food for us and my family. But with that being said, I'm glad that you came and gave the presentation today. And I don't think I could ever say that anybody can ever get one over on you, but we did today. You were actually here because we are going to consider a proclamation. And I know we're on July 17th, but we knew that family was more important than your birthday. We knew that family could be here on July 17th. So we are going to consider a proclamation, if I may.
Would you please read it?
Of the Board of County Commissioners, Los Angeles County, Colorado, declaring June 10th Bob Holder Day. And I will read that proclamation right now. Whereas Bob Holder, yeah, they all played a part in this.
Wow.
All right. I want to try to get this one out, guys. Whereas Bob Holder was hired as the District Wildlife Manager with the Colorado Division of Wildlife in June of 1975. Whereas Bob Holder arrived in Stonewall, Colorado in Los Animas County on May 26, 1976 as the Trinidad West District Officer. Whereas Bob Holder was awarded the Colorado Division of Wildlife's John D. Hart Wildlife Officer of the Year Award in 1996. Whereas Bob Holder was awarded the North American Wildlife Enforcement Officers Association Wildlife Officer of the Year in 2001 in Omaha, Nebraska. Whereas of the date this proclamation was written, Bob Holder is the first and only Colorado wildlife officer to earn the North American Wildlife Enforcement Officers Association Wildlife Officer of the Year. Whereas Bob Holder received the Masonic Outstanding Achievement Award for dedication, service, and contributions with the Colorado Division of Wildlife for the state of Colorado and Los Angeles County from the Trinidad Masonic Lodge number 28 in January of 2015. Whereas Bob Holder received an appreciation award from Primero School District student body for valued time and commitment to Primero School District and its student body in 2016. There's more. Whereas Bob Holder has shared countless hours with Los Animas County's elementary and high school students in wildlife presentations and hunter education classes. Whereas Bob Holder, affectionately known as Mr. Bob Holder, has been a hero and mentor to generations of Los Animas County students during his 43-year career. Bob Holder's popularity with children of Los Animas County is a testament to his dedication and compassion. Whereas Bob Holder initiated discussions about the purchase of a large tract of land located in Los Animas County that was vital to Los Animas County's wildlife population. Bob Holder's foresight, tenacity, and dedication to wildlife and the protection of critical, which is now the 30,000-acre Bosque del Oso State Wildlife Area, Colorado's largest state wildlife area. Whereas Bob Holder has played a vital role in Los Animas County's economy by managing and protecting one of Los Animas County's most precious assets. Whereas Bob Holder's unmatched work ethic, dedication to education, and tireless, firm, and fair law enforcement efforts has helped reduce poaching in Los Animas County by 90%. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Animas County, Colorado, that June 10th is hereby proclaimed to be Bob Holder Day in Los Animas County, in acknowledgement of the many contributions of Bob Holder, whose passion to manage, conserve, and protect Los Animas County's wildlife and habitat, and his dedication and compassion to educate and mentor the youth of Los Animas County. Introduced by motion, made and seconded, this proclamation is made this 17th day of July 2018 by the order of the Board of County Commissioners in Los Animas County, Colorado.
Do I hear a motion?
I, with great pride, make the motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Mulder.
Yes.
Commissioner Lau.
Yes.
Absolutely dumbfounded.
Not very often.
No, you got me on this one, I'll tell you what. I was wondering why my family was all dressed up today.
How about we get the family?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, you did. That's amazing. You guys knew about this?
Some of those tall guys in the back.
Oh, look here, we did.
Come on, guys. They landed the airplane.
They landed the airplane for this?
Mr. Chadwick, get the back here. Slide back here.
If we get back far enough, they can see us.
Is this too many? Are there too many here?
You want me to step out of the picture? Guys, I'm dumbfounded. That's amazing.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you. Good to see you. Oh, I will. Yeah, you bet. I will.
Long time no see. How are you? How you doing, buddy?
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. June 10th, huh? Your birthday, right?
This was a great presentation. I always get a little bit nervous when I had that keyboard to
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys. Now, this hunting season, don't pull me over and harass me because of this.
What's that?
This hunting season, don't pull me over and harass me because of this.
It won't be because of that.
And I promise I'll try to lose some weight for the chairs playing.
We got nicer chairs over here. Thanks, Bob.
Consideration of unleaded fuel bid. Phil, if you have a report you want to make, I noticed it's not on here, so if you have a report.
I'm okay getting reports unless you want me to.
Okay.
For your commissioners, should be results of fuel being solicited for unleaded fuel to be delivered to the fairgrounds, approximately 1,000 gallons. With the following results, out the fuels, $2.193 per gallon, extended price $17,544, Acorn, $2.27314 per gallon. Ohana Valley no bid, Wallace Oil no bid, and has support to approve. Out the fuels bid at $2.193 per gallon, extended price $17,544.
Make a motion to accept 17,554.
So,
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
yes.
Commissioner Gao?
Yes. Consideration of diesel fuel bid.
Same thing, Commissioner, solicited bids to deliver approximately 7,200 gallons of diesel to the fairgrounds. The following results, out the fuel, $2.369 per gallon, extended price $17,056.80. Acorn Petroleum, $2.43814 per gallon. Ohana Valley no bid, Wallace Oil no bid. In my opinion, there was a minor informality in the bid. If you look on the second sheet, signature sheet, total delivery price, Alta with the number $2.369 per gallon instead of extending the price. But in my opinion, it's a minor formality. They're going to deliver 7,200 gallons worth of diesel, and the extended price will be $17,056. So I ask the board to go ahead and approve it. I'm sorry. I ask the board to go ahead and approve it. It's a minor informality.
And just a point, we get 8,000 gallons of gas, and we only get 7,200. Is that all we can hold?
That's the difference in weight between unleaded and diesel. Diesel weighs that much more. So a tanker legally can haul 7,200 gallons, and unleaded can haul 8,000.
Okay.
I make motion to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Consideration of Jolly Pit annual report, map and fee.
Before you, Commissioner, should be
Hopefully I'm on the right agenda.
Yeah, you are. So, yeah.
Have you had a copy of it, Commissioner Miller?
Okay.
Before you should be our annual submission of our report to the Division of Minerals and Geology for a Jolly Pit, and requires a fee of $791. So 112 per month, that's the reason it's 791. I've asked the board to approve it. And we submit these electronically.
I make motion to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes. Consideration of the open pit annual report, map and fee.
Similar to the Jolly Pit that you just approved, this is for the open pit, which is, again, a 112 permit pit, therefore the $791 fee. Submitted this digitally to the state of Colorado, Division of Minerals and Geology. Ask the board to approve.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes. Consideration of resolution 18-025, speed limit, County Road 43.6, segment 100. Or did I do the wrong one?
That's the right one.
Or did, I think we got the different. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Alright, sorry.
You got it?
Don't ever give us two different things because it confuses us.
Oh, I know.
This is there, he just lost it.
Alright, now I got it plenty.
Then you got two.
Yes. Yeah, you're good.
Commissioner, before you, we had a request, before you should be, consideration of resolution 18-025, speed limit for County Road 43.6, segment 100. We had a request from the residents in that area that the speed be reduced from state statute default speed, in my opinion, of 35 miles an hour down to 15 miles an hour. And researching it and the signatures that were on the request, I believe it was, if not all the residents, probably 99% of them. I couldn't find any resident in my mapping software that didn't sign off on that request. So I think it's a unanimous request from the residents in that area to reduce the speed. I did a traffic study, and I see no reason why it couldn't be reduced to that speed. And I'll speak to the sheriff, and I read he's not here, but he also submitted a report, I believe, to the Board of Commissioners. Also might have an issue with that, spelled out some other things that he thought might help, including side distances and driveways and everything else, that a reduced speed would, in our opinions, mitigate any potential collision. So I ask the board to approve this resolution, reduce the speed from the default state statute 35 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour, and we'll get signage ordered if the board approves that, and we'll get the signs installed. We be in the road and bridge department.
So what it is, it's a county road, and it goes right through a high residential area to access development. So the development people are just traveling through there pretty fast. You want to read the resolution?
Yeah, do you want to read it? Or do you want me to read it, or do you? Oh, you get paid big bucks to read it.
A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County establishing a speed limit for vehicles traveling County Road 43.6, Segment 100. Resolution number 18-025. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners has been requested to establish a speed limit for vehicles traveling County Road 43.6, Segment 100, in order to lessen the risk of accidents by motorists traveling said county road. And whereas Acting County Sheriff Derek Navarrete and Road and Bridge Department Supervisor Phil Laurenkamp have investigated the roadway design layouts and the movement of vehicles traveling County Road 43.6, Segment 100, in accordance with CRS 42-4-1101 through County CRS 42-4-1104, and have jointly recommended to the Board of Commissioners the establishment of a speed limit for vehicles traveling this road segment. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County that the Board of County Commissioners, upon the advice and recommendation of Acting County Sheriff Navarrete and Road and Bridge Supervisor, does hereby establish the following speed limit as reasonable and safe under the road and traffic conditions limits for the vehicles traveling the following county road. County Road 43.6, Segment 100, a speed limit of 15 miles per hour. Upon motion made and seconded, this resolution was adopted this 17th day of July 2018 by order of the Board of County Commissioners, Los Angeles County, Colorado.
A question, do you put up the signs, what?
Yeah, the Road and Bridge is tasked with putting the sign up.
So we're looking at two signs, one on each end, or what?
Yes, not statute, but any man in uniform traffic control devices. So you generally put up regulatory signs, which these will be at intersections, major intersections. So we'll stick one down by Highway 12 going northbound, and then we'll stick one up at the other end for southbound traffic. We're not going to put them in every drive.
Yeah.
Just major intersections.
And how soon will this be accomplished? I mean, we do this today, get it done this week?
Take the signs a month to get in,
Okay.
unless I have some in stock, and I may have some in stock. If that's the case, we can get them up soon.
Make a motion to approve resolution 18-025.
I'll second.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Loudon?
Yes. Consideration of opt-in lawsuit underpaid bill recipient.
Commissioners, I believe an email or some other type of correspondence was sent to the courthouse sometime back regarding the underpayment of PIL. I believe it was through the years of 2015 through 2017. I believe a lawsuit by Kane County in Utah is what initiated all this, and through that correspondence there was an inquiries whether or not Los Angeles County would want to join a, I believe it's called a class action lawsuit. And I took the liberty of contacting the attorneys that were ramrodding this and committed the county, I guess, to doing that. But I'd like the board's approval on going after this. It looks like we have the potential to receive approximately $25,000, but of course there'll be attorney's fees taken off of that, plus any costs that they incur. So according to the attorneys taking on the class action, it would be probably another $10,000 that they take off the top. So we're looking at potential, I don't know, 12 to 15,000, and that's just guessing, because they being the attorneys, if you have to submit, well, firstly, you haven't got the award, and secondly, you haven't submitted their costs, and also the court hadn't awarded what their fees would be also. So, but I think at that type of dollar value, if it was a couple $100, it probably wouldn't be worth the postage and everything else and staff time to pursue this. But those type of dollars, in my opinion, is worth going after, or worth joining the lawsuit.
Pam, do you have any comment on that?
I've discussed it with Dixie briefly as well. He's right, it's a decent amount of money after fees are gone out, so it's worth it, the time that we'll have to put into it, so I would agree with Austin.
I'd like to thank you, Phil, for your insight, seeing this and catching this, and bringing some, hopefully, a little bit of revenue for our county. So, good job.
I gotta think, I think it was Paul who sent it to me, where it came from. All it ended up in my inbox in my email. So,
Did they say when any future payments, or are they going to increase the future payments because
No,
of this?
I think what's going to happen is they're going to fully fund, is what my
Okay.
understanding is.
Okay.
Well, good job to both of you.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
One comment before that. Where do you think this 15,000 should go?
Bill monies go to Road and Bridge.
Okay, that's
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Will you amend your motion to that effect?
There goes the road bridge. Well, it has to.
Of course.
It's a long walk from Augusta Springs to Cortez.
We have an amended motion.
Yeah. Really long.
And I vote yes.
You're amending it to say that money goes to Road and Bridge.
And if it comes up that we owe money to the attorneys, it comes out of Road and Bridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's honoring it.
No, this is the Philadelphia Camp Road.
Okay. Consideration of town of Aguilar water well usage for Road and Bridge.
Commissioners, we've in the past got water from different water sources. Generally, it's been from Trinidad, and Mike Valentine from the city of Trinidad asked some weeks back that Road and Bridge stop using water, potable water, so we have. And the town of Aguilar, we've got a grant rental project going on west of Aguilar, plus our regular road maintenance up in that area. The town of Aguilar has been gracious enough to offer one of their wells that apparently the well has too much mineral of some type that they can't use it without going through a real expensive filtering process, can't use it for their potable water for the town of Aguilar. That being said, is they have offered to allow us to pull water from that well if we do some improvements around that well site. One, the road, access road to the well site, that we improve it, and then secondly, that we're going to do it in-house and provide our own generator for the pump to get the water out of that. out of the ground. That being said, I did some quick calculations on what it would save us just with this grant project, which is an $8,800 ton project. Figuring 6 loads of water a day, I think I came up with a cost savings of $5,200 from having to come all the way into Trinidad or our other water source near Trinidad and haul all the way back out west of Aguilar. It's going to save us $5,200 just in this one project alone. Not to mention future projects and maintenance, and also, I guess, improving the road. On a side note, it'll also allow for I think it's the Spanish Peaks Fire, a volunteer fire department up there to also be able to access that well. And I think they worked out a deal with the town of Aguilar. I can't speak on it. I think they worked out a deal with the town of Aguilar to also be able to pull water out of that well if they need to fight fires. So I asked the board to approve this, and we can go ahead and get started. There is a letter from the town of Aguilar here regarding such. I can read it if need be. I may stumble through it because I don't have my glasses with me. It's kind of blurry, but I think I can get through it. If you think it's necessary, I think if we just include it with the approval, in my opinion, that'd be good.
With the, on the culvert, what size would that be?
It's a 20-foot long, and I think it's a 15-inch.
15.
But I'm not sure. And as I alluded to in my email, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about the culvert. We generally, everything we install is generally at least 30 feet long. And that doesn't say that we don't butt them together and band them together to get a 20-foot or a 10 to get a 30-foot. But Jim Cotero, foreman in Aguilar, said that he had scrap one and he put it in there. I mean, it's still usable, but not for our kind of use.
So when the fire, hopefully they never have to use water out of that, but will they use our generator or do they have their own?
Town of Aguilar has a generator. Town of Aguilar actually offered to put the generator up there for our project, but I feel much more comfortable we providing our own power. We've got a diesel generator, so we've got diesel pickups with nurse tanks running, or pickups with diesel nurse tanks running down that road all the time. We can keep it filled. Plus, if one of our water trucks were to accidentally damage Town of Aguilar's generator, then we're on the hook for generators. So I thought it'd just be better if we put our own generator up there. So if the fire department needs one, either they're going to have to provide one, or the Town of Aguilar, I guess, could provide one. I'm not sure where they get their power from.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank the town of Aguilar for affording this opportunity, because we are on tight restrictions everywhere, so water is short. So thank you, Aguilar, and with that said, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Have a safe trip. And if this guy gives you any trouble, just leave him closer.
He's going to have to get out and go to the bathroom.
Consideration of bid for fairgrounds lighting project.
You're up, Kenny.
Morning, Supervisor First County. I got the bids for the lights, and the only one that put out the bid was Welding. No one else contacted or anything.
We only got one.
Just one bid. In this bid, Kenny, did they state what the rebates were going to be at the end?
No, they didn't say that. We have the sheet in the back that I forgot to give you guys. But I guess what Sam's saying, probably we're going to get like maybe out of everything, quarter of it back.
So 25% return on the investment. So that's better.
She's not sure of it.
Christie, dollars wise, we okay?
45,000, is that the only amount, or is there more to come?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and as long as the rebates actually have to, actually come back within the same year.
Yeah.
It all has to happen in the same year from lottery.
And it goes right back into lottery, correct?
It does.
There'll be a savings of about $11,000, on the rebate. So, and I know we have budgeted with $190,000 out of the lottery fund to start the rehab on the fairgrounds, and I don't think we've spent
I
more
don't
than.
know, I don't know the recap at this moment. I don't know that.
But we haven't even got close to that number. So,
I don't know, I think we've spent some.
but
And I haven't seen any rebate on that.
I think that's all in closing minutes. I did talk to Ms. Quintan, when that first happened, and I asked her how she's gonna roll that into the same, I guess she has to do it all at the same time, right, Kenny? So she can't ask for the rebates just for one project, she's gonna roll it all in one time for the rebate. So that was a concern, if we had other bidders come in and they bid it, then we were gonna have to ask them for the rebates, and we'd probably lost out on the first rebate on the first initial project. So,
if this is approved, will this work be done before fair time in a couple weeks or not?
maybe before the end of the summer then. Would they have a projection date when they could start if we approve it?
Depending if they have, their warehouse has it in stock, and probably at least maybe a month.
So it would probably be better wait after the fair.
And also, what's the utility, cost savings? What, the lights we have now, or what do they call those really,
In the expo,
yeah,
the high bay lights,
the vapor, what do they call them, the vapor lights? They're really expensive.
Does it take time for them to come on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of utility savings on that with these. These are all LEDs or.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the lighting itself is just a lot nicer. You know, we were doing the evac for Murphy County Animals, turn on the arena lights, and that's amazing. Just really, really nice and bright.
Yeah, for the fairground.
Yeah, I like the LEDs better.
There's only one thing here that I see, and it's not a major deal, but I just want to be everybody made aware of it. Extra labor costs for work not specified on this proposal, $65 per man hour. If there's anything added on, I think we three need to know before we go forward with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commissioners, are we gonna actually develop a master plan for the fairground so that we can know exactly how much is spent each year?
I think it's
Because I
imperative.
haven't seen that, because I thought that's the direction we're gonna go with this.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, we do need a 5-year plan.
I think cameras will be next time.
I think cameras need to be pretty quick.
Yeah, and then also when you push really hard on the ADA before we get sued on, we'll have to, Kim and I will have to put it together to see what, when we went through with the shutdown Katana, she kind of gave us an idea of what needs to be done. So maybe the next meeting I'll have it already.
On August 2nd, Christie, do you think we'll have time to put a meeting together with us and Kenny, so we can go over a master plan on that same day? Just for meeting?
I can schedule that in there, we'll just go a little bit longer for that day, I don't know if that's the right day for that.
I won't be here that day.
No.
I'll be less reading.
Well, we have a meeting next week.
By the time we get through all of that, being an old person, I'm wore out.
Yeah, maybe that might be a different meeting.
Yeah.
And maybe after the 7th, the afternoon after our regular scheduled meeting.
Be fine with me.
That way we can, I agree with Christie, we need to have a master plan. Months ago, Kenny and Dean Oldman and I and Lori Arnold, and at least Pete was with us, went through the walk through the fairgrounds and put everything together, what we kind of wanted to do. It hasn't materialized other than the list we did that day, so we need to focus on it. But I think this is a good start in the cost savings for the county and getting these lights put in and implemented. We can't rent our facilities for X amount of money when the facilities are run down. So this is a step for myself, in my opinion, to the right way of the future to offer better facilities for the community, and we can have more people using our facilities. I know the 4-H'ers, the Little Britches, they're already really happy that we're doing the upgrades in the arena, and I think this will just add to that we can probably entice more people to use our facilities when we have better facilities available to them. And the money is not coming out of Los Angeles County. It is lottery funds, so it doesn't cost taxpayers other than when you go buy a scratch ticket, I guess.
I think we contribute a lot from here.
So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Mulder?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Lau?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we scratched number K, is that correct? Arcade?
Yes.
Okay, consideration of special events permit, Southern Colorado Family Center. State your name and
Chelsea Calhoun with Southern Colorado Family Center.
okay, what do we need to know?
We were approached by 4-H to see if we could help enhance their fair days. On that last day Saturday, they wanted to have a rodeo dance, I guess, with the Climax Canyon Band. So they asked us if we would be willing to serve beer and wine. And for dinner as well. They're going to serve dinner, a barbecue.
So we're having basically a 4-H event where there's going to be beer and wine.
Well, this will be a dance later, Saturday night when the fair ends. It'll be a dance for the adults, is what I understood.
I'm really confused. You're just having a dance for adults, no kids?
Right, there's going to be 2 dances. There's Good morning, Commissioners. Ray Odom, Fair Board President. What it is there's going to be 2 dances. There's going to be a dance like right before, for the young kids to go there and have fun, and then there's this one. The second dance is more of a fundraiser to put money back into the Fair Board, and also try to get the community out. We're trying to figure out a way. We're trying something different. We've never done it, and it's also to try to get the community to come in and enjoy, let them know, hey, this is your community too, not just people who have animals and livestock. So that's what we're trying to do, is do something different this year that we haven't done before. So it's if it works for us, we'll do it this year, and next year we won't. So we're just trying to do something a little different and see how to get the community people to come in.
Okay, so there'll be a dance from, and I'm just using an example, 8 to 10 for the kids, and then from 10 to 12 is for the adults. Or something
Right,
like that.
and the one for adults will be a little later than the first.
And in the same place.
Yes, in the same place. And that place is going to be blocked off. So it's monitored. There'll be security there also to make sure that that's not happening, or there's going to be young kids in there with people.
So the sales of the alcohol will be going to the Southern Colorado Family Center?
And then you'll be selling tickets to the dance night, we'll go to the fair board?
Right.
Is that how this is gonna work?
Yes.
And we did get the Los Angeles County, I spoke with Navarrete, and he was, we're gonna use the sheriff's department as security, so we didn't run into any sort of problem. So we've got them on board, and we had Officer Nick Marano do a parking plan for us as well, so we've got that nice and organized.
What kind of partition will be installed?
I understood it would be the panels that you keep livestock in. It'll be,
It'll be one gate?
yes, one in and out, just one way to go in and out. We'll have the sheriff's department there.
Well, I think you're much better prepared with this application than the last one.
Yes, I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
Getting better at it.
You know what? By the time I'm done, I'll be an old pro.
Well, having it separated from the kids, I'm okay with that, but if I see one of my daughters with a glass of wine, I'm gonna have an issue, because we'll probably be attending. How much are the tickets, Ray? So the media can.
Only if possible, right? Only if possible.
They haven't came up with a price yet, but it's not gonna be too much. I know some of it's gonna be like $5 to $7. We don't wanna make it too expensive for the community to come out and enjoy the festivities. And like I said, there's also gonna be maze.
Yeah, we're gonna do, during the day, Southern Colorado Family Center will be doing laser tag and an escape room to kind of keep the kids occupied. We're just trying to help them make it bigger and better.
You can give them a shovel, they can go clean stalls.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what.
They better be doing that all week.
We do remember that any vendor will charge 1.5% sales tax and 2.9% for the state,
Yes.
correct? Or any vendor that's there, not just hers? Anybody other vendor?
No, not from what I understand from vendors except for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the only one who's gonna be running that, and then except for the band that's gonna be there.
Okay.
It'll actually be 4.4, right?
Yes, or that's what I said, because you have to include the state in that, so it's 4.4% that will be collected. I always have to repeat myself, sorry.
If you wanna collect more than that, you know.
No, you don't want to do
Do you guys have liability insurance already?
Yes, we obtained
Could you please provide that? I don't see it in the packet.
yeah, I gave it to Peach last week after we got the certificate. If not, I can definitely go get a copy and run it.
What do you got?
This one? Or
It's right, it's the second page of the, well, it's not the back.
We're going to do, it's not in the packet, but we do have the certificate, and I can run and get that, or have Julie run it to me real quick.
I think you can bring it to the office.
I'm sorry?
You can probably bring it down the hall after the meeting.
Okay.
That's the only issue I saw, everything else looks appropriate, so if you want to do a condition on that coming in, we should.
is there anything else?
All right, report. Under the advice of our county attorney, Dan Nelson, we make a motion to approve pending bringing the proof of liability insurance.
I will second that motion.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Will you be bartending?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. It depends on how tired I am for the rest of the day. I'll make Julie do it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Consideration of liquor license renewal for Open Wall Bar and Pizzeria.
So, I wanna know what the heck was going on, so I wanted to see. Basically, this was his first renewal, and, he didn't know he had to get local approval before state approval.
So you applied to the state for some.
Yep. So the state said they're fine with it as long as we're fine, basically.
You have any problems with it?
No, it's basic renewal. I read the report from the sheriff. There really is no reason not to approve this.
Okay. Any motion approved?
Second.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Garland?
Yes. Oh boy, here we go. Consideration of multiple tax purge, LACBCC number 6926.
We're in trouble with both companies.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Leonetti, County Treasurer, my backup, Jordan Mott, County Assessor. Just
The bodyguard?
my backup. When sending out my delinquent notices, I noticed a few schedules that needed to be taken off the tax roll. Each one has a reason. The assessor has deleted the account, moved out of the county, or they just don't exist anymore. For me, they're uncollectible. So at this time, I'd like for you to consider purging them.
So it's just more housekeeping.
More housekeeping.
That's good.
This will save on, mailing out these notices over and over again, postage, paper, envelopes process. Each one has the year that the taxes are owed and also the amount of taxes without interest.
Well, when I was reading this, I had two things pop up with the liquor. And that liquor, I think the former owner still lives in the area, which is not home, but that she sold the business and everything.
Right.
But the other question I have is, what's up with the situation with the miners' memorial?
What happened on that one, there was an abatement that was done for 2014 and 2015, and at the time, the assessors can only go back 2 years. And so this was for 2013 tax, and they should be tax exempt.
So then, we collected tax basically and didn't realize they were a nonprofit. Is that what it was?
Jody Amato, Los Angeles County Assessor. They failed to file their tax exemption paperwork in a timely manner. They have to come into our office, they have to pick up the forms, they have to bring us back a check. We submit it to the state. The state is the only entity that can tell any assessor's office whether that property is exempted for those specific reasons or not. That's why there was the abatement done, but we can only go back 2 years, and that portion of time, unfortunately, was when they were in the transition of taking over ownership. The old owner was not going to be responsible for it, and there was that window of time, no man's land, unfortunately, where this tax bill was generated, and the state was only accepting them back for those 2 years. So that 1 year is unfortunately in limbo and uncollectible.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Approve.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Garland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consideration of administrative assistant. So who's handling that?
Good morning, Kim Chavez, HR coordinator. I'm used to saying that up here. So Paula, Christy, and I, we had interviews last week for the administrative assistant, and we interviewed 4 individuals for the position, and we came up with, we all agreed on the one that we thought would be the best fit for the position.
And everything's in place
everything's in place, ready for her to start as soon as you say, hopefully tomorrow.
And she's gonna, she or he, I don't know.
She,
She,
I don't know if I can say her name or not, but she.
okay, is gonna rotate between,
She is going to float between the admin office, my office, and finance office. She will live in the finance office, but not until Chrissy gets moved back to her original spot. So we have plenty for her to do starting right now.
Yeah, hopefully today, in the afternoon, I'll move back to my office and then get her set up in her new location.
We've already got her set up with, when we have that position set up with Tyler on the computer, and we're ready to go.
so Chrissy, just one thing. If you haven't unpacked it, you probably didn't need it, so just throw it away.
I have a lot. I'm taking over the whole entire office. Just to tell you that. Yeah, so I have to move that today.
So the recommendation is to hire, and
Yes.
I think we need to know who we're hiring. Or you can't.
I don't know.
If she's making the recommendation, you don't need to discuss it in executive session. I believe she can make the recommendation. If you want to take it under executive session, you can, but I believe it's
What do you guys think? So
Her name is Evelyn Juarez.
I'd like to make a comment. I'm glad that the three of you got to do this process because, number one, that you all can come together and select somebody because you're the ones who's going to work with these folks more than three of us. And I also like the fact that we are getting our first employees going to be cross-trained in different offices. So that's a plus for our county. It's something that I've been wanting to do. I've said for many years that I've always liked that. So, like Paula now is cross-trained, she can.
There's several of us.
You got 3 or 4 jobs. You got 3 or 4 jobs. So it's really a good thing. So having said that, thank you guys for going through that process and make a motion to approve.
I'll second
payroll for first half, July 2018.
Payroll as of July 15 is $153,156.27. On page 8, most of our sheriff extra duty is on call. Notice that on page 8.
And does this reflect all of the election, the primary, or is there still some outstanding? The payroll?
There's still some outstanding.
What's that?
There's still some outstanding.
Did he say election? Oh, yes.
The one?
2 actually.
2?
Just because they didn't complete the paperwork, and so we have 2 outstanding.
We got bills paid on July 5th for $129,820.59. Bills paid on July 11th for $111,221.15.
The only question I had was on the title technologies. Is that a quarterly fee?
What was it?
5,700.
Yes, for the treasurer, that's the title, yes. But no, that's monthly. That's a lease that the treasurer pays every month. That's
The
what it
other
is.
question I had was MC Campbell's International for 27,000. Page 13.
And that's probably some road and bridge, probably repairs. I'll tell you exactly.
I've just never seen that on before. Maybe I missed it.
Let me look, I'll tell you really quick, okay? By detail. Road repair equipment, and there's many charges. Yeah, so he has like 3,500, 7,800, and a credit. So they're just repairs. It says road repair road equipment. So they're just repairs. He has maybe about 7 or 8 different tickets on him for road and bridge.
And then I think we forgot to put my extra bonus check on it.
Or
It was just it's a signature.
for what?
You know, you really realize how much money pumped into the economy with that grant.
Yeah.
Right.
What did we pay Kay Kaza for?
Who is it?
Kay Kaza?
Okay, what
Page 13.
page 13?
$235.
Let me go back to where it's at.
That's what I want to know why we.
Oh, judge fees. So 2018 judge fees and then mileage. So cut before. You better talk to me. Right?
Paying more in gasoline than we are for we do the work for a day.
So you'll see a bunch of names on there for third judges.
Any other questions from either?
Nope.
No.
Always Johnny on the spot. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Mulder?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner McDowell?
Acting in its capacity as the Board of Human Services, consideration of bills for first half of July 2018.
Those just come in, right? Yeah, I haven't seen them, so I need them to the table.
I haven't seen them in a second.
Commissioner Mulder?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Loudon?
Yes. Executive session, the board will meet in executive session under CRS 24-6-4024B, confer with the county attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions, and CRS 24-604024F, personnel matters not involving any specific employees who have requested decision of the matter in open session. Any member of this body or an elected official or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees in CRS 24-6-4024Z, determining positions relatives to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mulder?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Loudon?
Yes. We'll take about 10 minutes.
Doctor, gonna vote?
I don't think so. If there is something, I will contact you.
Okay.
Were you raising your hand?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's a little warm in here, yes.
Running down those stairs.